and Industry. Welcome to Africa 54. How did you receive this signing?
Very excited, actually. Very excited because I knew the president was about going before he stopped. I even had the advance team had gone. That was March 21 last year because of the concerns of NLC, MAN, and some other private sector operators. So I was excited because I think it's something we have to do. If we are the major beneficiary in West Africa, I'm hoping that we'll also be a major beneficiary in the entire African agreement.
Do you think the continent and the country is ready for this?
I think so. I think so because I want some people that look, will you say because the road to your house is bad, you not drive the car? We can fix all our issues and we're not going to fix it in a day. This is time bound. We need to begin to do something to grow trade in Africa. We can't depend on the West or the Asia. Europe did it and today contributing over 60% of world trade, just 500 million people, EU alone. And we are over 1.2 billion people. So I think we can do much more if we just begin to trade among ourselves.
Well, you know, some of the concerns raised, they tell us that infrastructure development is a challenge.
Yeah.
Now, according to FDC, they say Nigeria requires $15 billion. That's about 4.59 trillion naira at 306 to the dollar for 15 years. That's annually. So if we need to adequately develop our infrastructure, yet you say we're ready.
We're ready. We're ready in the sense that same challenge we are faced with, other African nations are facing it. So what you have said is not peculiar to Nigeria. And I feel that some of those infrastructure, it becomes easier for development, for funding to come into those infrastructure, even within Africa, because Africa is a landlocked country. So we need infrastructure within Africa, both rail and roads, to be built for this to happen. So I think that we don't have to wait for those things to be fixed. In West Africa, we are contributing 40% of the trade in West Africa, and we are having this issue. Last report released by the National Bureau of Statistics shows that non-oil export grew to 13%. Manufacture out of that was about 10%. In the economy, we are having this issue, and we're still having 10% manufactured goods. And most of our goods to West Africa is manufactured. So the one will be shipping, definitely not be shipping commodities to Africa. Yeah, but we're going to be shipping manufactured goods.
Some of the data released by, I think, the Ministry of Trade, they indicated there that Nigeria happens to rank #1 in terms of importing services into the country and not exporting manufacturing products.
No, we're exporting manufactured products. I mean, MBS data Q1 shows that we're exporting 13%. No, last year, overall, 6.2% non-oil export contribution. I'm looking at non-oil now because that's mainly what we ship to Africa. And now we're having 13%. And manufactured goods, I was excited because of the manufactured content, which was 77% of the non-oil export content. Because when we're going to be shipping to West Africa, when we're going to be shipping to other Africa that we're already into West Africa, it's going to manufacture goods. In spite of our challenges, we're going to benefit from AfCFTA. The only concern I think we should be worried about is putting a strong team in place for monitoring and implementation. That should be our worry. It's not that we should not sign.
But remember, man, even LCCI, they raise concerns about some of this, particularly the manufacturing sector, the power supply, what formats, what policies have they put in place to ensure that Nigeria is ready for this kind of agreement? I
didn't know eventually the agreement we reached with MAN. I know LCCI was for it, only that we said it should be done conditionally. Now, MAN was the major party that said, look, we should not go ahead. MAN agree. So I am very sure that they've had an agreement with federal government on what federal government need to do, and federal government are committed to it for MAN to go ahead and agree and do it. We have not signed, we have lost out. So now that we have signed, I think the conversation should change. What should Nigeria begin to do to ensure we implement? Some have said, oh, people will come around and set up in the nearby countries, and they will set up there, they will now, that they won't come to Nigeria, will come down power. And I said, look, if they set up there, does not mean it to affect us, because if there are products they are producing there that we don't want in Nigeria, the agreement allows us 10% of HS code in the world. There are about 5,000 plus HS code in the world. 10% of that is allowed for us to say this is no-go area for now. So we can decide to say, look, these are the areas we don't want you to come into our economy and destroy the industry in this sector, and we can make that available when we are ratifying and sending it to the AU. So we can actually still protect ourselves reasonably, even if those people are coming to set up in nearby countries. I'm sure what they will be shipping to us are things we need, which will not be part of the 10%.
All right, then, we'll leave it at that. Bamidele Ayemibo is Chairman Export Group at the Lagos Chamber of Commerce and Industry. Thank you.
Former Chairman,
Former Chairman. Thank you for your time.
All right, thank you very much.
We want to know what you think about Africa 54 and the stories we cover. Join the conversation on Facebook and check out our headlines 24/7 on voaafrica.com. Coming up, following foreign and local investments, motorcycle taxi companies are racing to control the busy streets of Lagos.